Ladies and gentlemen, the last time is now. John Cena's historic 17th world title reign is underway, and as a lifelong fan of the WWE and John Cena, I took the opportunity to book the perfect 17th run for Mr. Cena. This journey will be a mix of nostalgia as Cena settles scores with old rivals and fresh matchups where we see the leader of the C Nation elevate fresh talent on his way out, along with a satisfying conclusion fitting for the GOAT. So, without further ado, this is how WWE should book John Cena's 17th title run. Cena's first feud is against none other than longtime rival Randy Orton. The build to this match focuses on their storied history. Orton, a third-generation star who has been defined by wrestling, is trying to save wrestling from Cena, who has vowed to ruin pro wrestling and its legacy. The tagline for this match is "One Last Time," signaling the final chapter of this historic rivalry. But what happens towards the end of the match leaves a question mark on that tagline. The match starts with a slow, methodical pace. Cena, now the heel, stalls by stepping out of the ring and constantly trying to cool the hometown crowd that's behind Randy. But Orton soon gets his hands on Cena and dominates the match. Cena, with his new heel persona, uses underhanded tactics like poking Orton's eye behind the ref's back to regain control of the match. For the majority of the match, we see a back-and-forth battle, and then it gets down to the wire. Cena goes for the signature 5 moves of doom, but Orton counters. Orton dodges a shoulder block by Cena, sends him to the ropes, and hits him with the signature Orton DDT. Orton stalks Cena, setting up for the RKO, but Cena counters it into an attitude adjustment. Cena hooks the leg, but Orton kicks out at 2. Cena gets more desperate, picks Orton up once again, and hits him with another AA, but Orton kicks out once again. Frustrated, Cena drags Orton outside the ring, clears the announce table, and hits Orton with an AA through the announce table. Cena gets back in the ring thinking he has won the match, but just before the referee counts to 10, Orton gets back inside the ring. Cena gets more and more frustrated as Orton slowly crawls back to his feet. And in a last desperate act, in a moment similar to their match at No Way Out 2008, Cena slaps the referee and gets himself disqualified to retain the title, just like Orton did in 2008. The fans are booing, Orton is pissed off, and Cena has a smirk on his face. Just as Cena grabs the title and heads up the ramp, Orton chases him down, drags him back in the ring, and hits him with not 1, not 2, but 3 back-to-back RKOs. Medics come out to check on Cena, and officials try to separate Orton. For a moment, it looks like Orton is done, and the show is about to end, but not yet. Orton storms back in the ring, drags Cena to the second announce table, and hits him with an RKO through the announce table. Backlash 2025 goes off air with Orton hitting his signature pose on the turnbuckle while Cena, for some weird reason, has a smirk on his face as he is being carried out on a stretcher. Next night on Raw, it is announced that Cena will be out of action for 2 weeks to recover, while Orton has been indefinitely suspended because of what happened at Backlash. Cena's next appearance is announced for the May 26th episode of Raw, 2 weeks prior to Money in the Bank. Cena comes out and gloats about how Orton is still the same volatile hothead, still unable to control his temper. Cena gloats how he set up a trap and Orton walked right into it. He knew Orton wouldn't be able to control his rage and would get himself suspended. And now with his biggest threat out of the way, Cena says there is nobody in the locker room that can challenge him. Cena claims he is going to hold this title till he retires and then take the title with him and end its legacy. But just as Cena is about to leave the ring, CM Punk's music hits as the crowd erupts in cheers. Punk, who just picked up a win over Braun Breaker at Saturday Night Main Event 2 days ago with a roll-up, is high on momentum and confidence to challenge his old rival. The two former rivals come face-to-face as the crowd goes wild. Punk says that Cena thinks he's untouchable, but he is forgetting the past. Punk says he stopped Cena once in 2011 and saved the WWE from his reign of mediocrity, and he will do it again 14 years later at the same event, Money in the Bank. Cena looks at Punk and smiles. Cena says it's bold of Punk to assume he has the right to demand title shots. Cena calls Punk's career an excuse and that the only reason he's relevant is because he whines and complains, and that's why the other whiners and complainers in the crowd have his back. Cena says the only reason Punk ever got famous is because of his controversies and stealing money from billionaires. Cena says in spite of that history, he will give Punk a title shot, but on one condition. Cena says he knows how much Punk loves being champion, how badly he wants to prove that he belongs at the top. Cena says that he'll give Punk a shot at the title, but on one condition. If Punk loses, he can't challenge for the WWE Championship again for the rest of the year. Punk hesitates for a moment, looks Cena dead in the eye, and accepts the challenge as the crowd cheers. This time, Cena is the one who threatens to leave the WWE with the title, while Punk is the one trying to save the company. Punk makes his entrance with his signature white attire he wore at Money in the Bank 2011, and what follows is a classic. The chemistry between both is clearly evident. They have counters for every move the other throws at them. We also see them stealing finishers with Cena hitting the GTS and Punk locking Cena in the STF. In the closing moments of the match, Punk hoists Cena up on his shoulder for the GTS, but accidentally ends up shoving the referee out of the ring. Punk nails the GTS on Cena, but the ref is down. Punk finally drags the ref back in the ring, but just as he turns back, he gets leveled by a spear from none other than Braun Breaker. Cena, still oblivious to what just transpired, locks in the STF on an exhausted Punk and retains the championship as Punk passes out to the submission. Next Monday on Raw, Cena opens the show as a video package replays the events from Money in the Bank. Just as Cena is about to speak, CM Punk's music hits as Punk storms down the ramp. But before Punk can reach the ring, Braun Breaker ambushes him from behind. Braun tries to slam Punk against the steps, but Punk turns the tables and throws Braun into the steel steps instead, and the brawl is on. Punk and Braun fight through the arena as officials try to separate them, leaving Cena standing in the ring all by himself, or so he thinks, as Randy Orton slides into the ring and nails Cena with an RKO out of nowhere. What follows next sets up the perfect finale for Cena and Orton's historic rivalry. In a backstage promo later that night, Orton claims that Cena might have escaped at Backlash, but this isn't over until he gets his hands on Cena and takes away what matters most to him. Cena and Orton come face-to-face next week on Raw as Cena admits that he understands what he needs to do. Cena realizes that Orton is the only superstar who can come close to his record of 17 world titles. Cena understands that he needs to eliminate Orton from his path once and for all, and that's why Cena agrees to put his title on the line one more time against Orton, but if Orton loses, he can't challenge for the WWE title ever again. Orton accepts the stipulation, but says this time, there will be no escape for Cena, there will be no disqualifications, because this time, Orton wants it to be a last man standing match, the same match they were supposed to have back in 2007 at No Mercy, before Cena got injured. The match is official, and it's an all-out war. RKOs onto chairs, attitude adjustments through tables, both men battling for over 20 minutes, and then it comes down to the wire. Cena climbs the top rope with Orton on his shoulder. He sets him up for an AA from the top, but instead, Orton fights back and RKOs Cena from the top rope through a steel chair. The crowd is on its feet, they are anticipating a new champion, but Super Cena rolls out of the ring and breaks the count at 9. Orton starts hearing voices in his head, he rolls out of the ring, he clears the announce table and drags Cena on top of it. Orton sets up Cena for an RKO on the announce table, but then suddenly appears Braun Breaker, who has just defeated CM Punk earlier in the night, and spears Orton through the announce table. Orton is down. The count reaches 9 as Cena somehow gets back to his feet. Orton tries to get back up but fails, and Cena retains the title. Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins come out to congratulate Cena, but Cena looks oblivious to the whole situation. Cena is confused, and so are the fans. It made sense for Braun to attack Punk during Cena's match at Money in the Bank as Braun and Punk were feuding, but why did Braun just attack Orton, and why are Rollins and Heyman celebrating with Cena? Well, the questions don't remain unanswered for long. The Rock's music hits, and out comes the final boss for the first time since Elimination Chamber 2025. Rock enters the ring, looks at Braun, looks at Rollins, and extends his hand to Paul Heyman, who accepts the handshake. The alliance is revealed. Heyman, Rollins, and Braun Breaker have aligned with the final boss, but Cena still looks unsure. However, before Cena can react, CM Punk's music hits and Punk goes right after Rollins and Braun Breaker. The numbers game get the better of Punk, but Orton manages to get back to his feet and even the odds. The fight spills to the crowd as The Rock, Cena, and Heyman are the only ones left in the ring. Cena still looks confused at the decision of The Rock forming this alliance without keeping him in the loop, but before Cena can say anything, Cody Rhodes' music hits. The American Nightmare makes his first appearance since WrestleMania 41 and stands face-to-face with Cena. The Rock and Heyman back out of the ring as Cena raises the title, and Summerslam goes off air with Cody and Cena staring each other down. Cena kicks off Raw next week and calls out The Rock. Cena says that while he appreciates the support, But when he says he is the last real champion, he means it. He doesn't need the help. Cena wants The Rock to come down and explain his decision to form an alliance with Heyman without informing him, but instead, Cody Rhodes' music hits as Rhodes and Cena come face-to-face once again. Rhodes says that Cena might be stupider than he dresses because he needs all the help in the world if he wants any chance of retaining the title. Rhodes says he is back to stop Cena from ruining wrestling and, more importantly, to take back his WWE title. Cena tells Cody that he is not on Cena's level, and he clearly exposed Cody at Mania, and will have no problem doing it once again. Cody asks Cena to prove it and put the title on the line right now. The crowd gets hyped up, Cena and Cody square off, but then The Rock's music hits. The final boss appears live via satellite and tells Cody that opportunities aren't handed around here, you have to earn them. If Cody wants a title shot, he will have the opportunity to earn that in the main event, when 20 wrestlers will compete in an over-the-top rope battle royal to determine Cena's next challenger. In the main event, Cody makes it to the Final Four. It's Cody, Rollins, Braun Breaker, and AJ Styles. Rollins and Breaker dominate the babyfaces for a while, but Cody and Styles work together to eliminate Breaker. In the final stretch, as Cody is about to eliminate Rollins, Breaker causes a distraction that allows Rollins to hit Cody with the stomp and throw him out of the ring, crushing his dreams as the fans boo loudly. It's down to Styles and Rollins, the final two competitors, to determine who will challenge Cena for the title at Clash in Paris. Rollins goes for the stomp, but Styles dodges and sets him up for the Styles Clash. Rollins manages to fight out and tosses Styles over the top rope. Styles barely hangs onto the apron and Rollins starts celebrating prematurely. But just as Rollins turns back, he is met with a phenomenal forearm. Styles picks up Rollins looking to eliminate him, but Braun Breaker enters the ring and levels Styles with a clothesline. Breaker picks Styles up and sets him up for a powerbomb, but Cody re-enters the ring and levels Braun with a Cody cutter. Cody and Braun fight on the outside as Cody sends Braun against the steel steps. This momentary distraction allows Styles to capitalize and hit Rollins with a Pelly kick and clothesline him out of the ring to become the #1 contender for the undisputed WWE Championship. The match is set, almost a decade after their legendary trilogy. AJ Styles, John Cena, Clash in Paris, WWE Championship. The build to the match sees Cena and Styles cut heated promos against one another. Cena says Styles should thank him for making him relevant back in 2016. If it wasn't for his feud with Cena, Styles would be sent away back to TNA, or he would be fading away somewhere on the indies. Styles says he has already beat Cena twice, but this time is going to be extra special because this time he doesn't just get to take Cena's title. He doesn't just get to add another accolade to his legacy, but he gets to go back to his wife and kids as the undisputed WWE champion, something Cena will never be able to experience in his life. The feud is deeply personal, and so is the match. Cena embraces his dark side and dominates the majority of the match thanks to his size advantage. But Styles manages to turn the tides with his speed and technical prowess. In the final stage of the match, Styles hits Cena with a phenomenal forearm. He sets up Cena for the Styles Clash, but Cena manages to counter it into the STF. Styles barely makes it to the ropes, but Cena drags him right back in and locks in the STF in the middle of the ring. Styles almost passes out to the deadly submission hold, but once again makes it to the ropes. The referee counts till 5, but Cena still doesn't let go of the hold. This leads to a confrontation between the ref and Cena. But suddenly, as the referee is busy with Cena, a hooded figure comes out of nowhere and kicks Styles, who is still recovering near the ropes, right in his head. Cena and the ref are both oblivious to the interference. Cena picks up Styles and nails him with the third AA of the match to retain the title. As Cena celebrates his win, the hooded figure enters the ring and removes his hood, revealing himself to be none other than Drew McIntyre. McIntyre starts attacking Styles as Breaker and Rollins join in, and it becomes clear that McIntyre has sold his soul to the devil. McIntyre is a part of the Rock-Heyman alliance, and Drew, Braun, and Rollins viciously assault Styles and put him on the shelf as McIntyre claymores Styles with a steel chair around his skull. Cena watches reluctantly and leaves the ring as the trio stands triumphantly over a broken AJ Styles as Clash in Paris goes off air. Cena opens Raw next Monday and says that while he appreciates his alliance with The Rock, he doesn't need anyone's help, and he doesn't appreciate anyone interfering in his matches without his consent. And as The Rock has refused to answer his calls, Cena says he is going to take things into his own hands. Cena announces that tonight will be the first edition of the John Cena WWE Championship Open Challenge. In an attempt to prove his dominance and establish his legacy, Cena welcomes all challengers to step up. And the first man to answer is none other than former NXT champion Trick Williams. The two have a solid match with Cena getting the win while giving Trick a proper introduction to his main roster career. The Open Challenge continues for the next 3 weeks as Cena defeats the likes of Carmelo Hayes, Penta, and Ricky Starks, elevating all 3 stars to a new level. However, next week during Cena's victory celebration, something unexpected happens. Cena makes quick work of his opponent Joe Hendry and celebrates. But just as Cena is about to leave the ring, The Rock's music hits. The final boss comes out and stands face to face with Cena. Rock says that Cena wanted answers, so here he is. The Rock says that he has faith in Cena, but when it comes to business, the final boss doesn't want to take any chances. Rock says that while Cena is the present, at the end of 2025, Cena's contract is going to be up, he will be gone, and Rock needs to make sure that the title and the WWE remains within the final boss's control. That's exactly why he had Breakker and Rollins take out Roman Reigns earlier in the year. Because he doesn't want a weak tribal chief anywhere near the title. That's why they've taken out guys like AJ Styles, who are outdated and don't align with the final boss's vision. But The Rock says he also gets that Cena wants to prove himself. So, The Rock promises Cena that no outside interference will affect his WWE title match at Crown Jewel. And as Cena wants to face the best challenger, later tonight, there will be a gauntlet match to decide Cena's challenger for Crown Jewel. The Rock enters all his allies like Seth, Drew, and Braun Breaker into the match, but in a shocking turn of events, it is none other than Chad Gable who emerges victorious. Because on the other side of things, a bigger story has been unfolding. The trio of Rollins, Breakker, and Drew McIntyre have been engaging in battles against Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and Randy Orton. The locker room has been split into factions. It's The Rock's alliance running roughshod against anyone who opposes them. A new addition to the alliance is none other than Kevin Owens. Owens and McIntyre have been dominating, with Owens holding the US title while McIntyre is the current IC champion. Rollins and Breakker have been holding the tag titles hostage, with Rollins also being the current world champion after dethroning Jey Uso. Meanwhile, in a parallel story, Chad Gable has been on a redemption arc since SummerSlam to reclaim his honor and to establish himself as a legit contender. Ever since Gable got exposed as El Grande Americano and got humiliated by The Rock's henchmen in front of his family, he has changed. He has been fighting to reclaim his former glory and earn the respect of the roster. Gable is fighting not only to earn the respect of the fans, but to win back the love and respect of his wife, his family, and most importantly, himself. With this newfound passion, Gable has defeated the likes of Gunther, Sheamus, Finn Balor, and many others on his path to the top. He has managed to make amends with his former allies like Otis and Akira Tozawa. Even the Creed brothers have joined him, and WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle himself has endorsed Gable, and the Raw roster is behind Gable. They're tired of the Rock-Heyman alliance. They're tired of the titles being held hostage by this group. They want to see Gable succeed, and the match is set for Crown Jewel. Leading into the match, Gable says it's the most important match of his career. It's his one final chance to prove to everyone that he belongs on the top and that he is not a B-plus player. Cena, on the other hand, doesn't take Gable seriously. He dismisses interviews and claims it's going to be the easiest title defense of his life. He comes off as arrogant during their contract signing when he signs the contract without acknowledging Gable and leaves the ring. But come Crown Jewel, a surprise awaits. Gable pushes Cena to his absolute limits. With the blessings of Kurt Angle and support of the entire roster, Gable puts on a performance of a lifetime in front of his wife and kids. He kicks out of multiple AAs, survives the STF multiple times, and just refuses to stay down no matter what Cena throws at him. In the final moments of the match, Gable locks in the ankle lock on Cena as the crowd erupts. Cena somehow manages to make it to the ropes and force a break. Gable locks in the hold again, but this time, in a fateful twist, Cena's shoe comes off and allows Cena to escape the submission. This momentary distraction allows Cena to level Gable with a clothesline and hit him with 3 consecutive AAs to retain the title. Post-match, both men are exhausted. Cena slowly rises to his feet as Gable is still recovering. In a rare show of respect, Cena approaches Gable and offers him his hand and helps him up. Cena raises Gable's hand in a heartfelt moment as the crowd cheers, but the celebration is short-lived. McIntyre, Rollins, Breakker, and KO storm the ring seeking revenge on Gable. They're still bitter about being upstaged by Gable in the Gauntlet match and want retribution. But Gable is not alone. Punk, Orton, Otis, Tozawa, and half the roster of Raw comes out to the aid of Gable, and the brawl is on. The fight spills out of the ring, and Cena is the only one left inside. And then...
wrestling has more than one royal family.
Cody Rhodes' music hits, and the American Nightmare appears. Earlier in the night, Cody just won a 16-man crown jewel tournament to earn a shot at a world title of his choice, and by his actions, Cody has made his choice clear. Cody has been building himself back up brick by brick, match by match, for the last 3 months. He's been fighting The Rock's henchmen. He's been making amends with old rivals and winning over the support of the fans. Cody stands face-to-face with Cena, and the match is set for Survivor Series. Leading into Survivor Series, there are multiple layers to this story. The Rock, as the final boss, realizes that his power has been slipping away. He sees that the roster has been fighting back against his authority, and he needs to step in to regain control. In a desperate effort to reassert his power, an all-star War Games match is announced by the final boss. It'll be Rollins, Braun Breakker, Drew McIntyre, and Kevin Owens versus the team of CM Punk, Randy Orton, Chad Gable, and a returning Roman Reigns. Only this time, the stakes are unprecedented. If The Rock's team loses, they'll all have to vacate their titles on the spot. The final boss has put this stipulation in place to test his allies and to make sure the future of the company is in safe hands. It's a war not only for supremacy, but for the soul of the WWE. In a shocking turn of events, Team Rock manages to steal the win when a fifth man sells his soul to The Rock, which is none other than Sami Zayn. And then, it's time for the main event, Cena's legacy versus Rhodes' redemption. Leading up to the match, the story writes itself. On one side, you have Cody Rhodes, the man who lost everything, trying to redeem his career and rebuild his legacy. Cody says that if he loses this match, he doesn't only lose personally, he also lets down the fans. He lets down his father, he lets down his family and his daughter. He isn't fighting only to win the title, he is fighting to save his legacy, his family's future, and to save pro wrestling. Then you have John Cena, the 17-time world champion who still feels he has something to prove, and that his reign isn't complete until he beats Cody clean in the middle of the ring. Cena has secured a promise from The Rock to guarantee that there will be no interference in this match. In exchange, Cena will defend his title against any wrestler of The Rock's choosing in his final match. The stakes are enormous, the atmosphere is electric, and then the bell rings. Cena tries to take control of the match early on, but this time, Cody is one step ahead. It's a far cry from their match at WrestleMania. Cody has an answer for everything Cena throws at him. The American Nightmare utilizes his speed and agility, but Cena quickly adapts thanks to his veteran instincts. The match is a back-and-forth battle, and towards the end, as Cody sets up Cena for the crossroads, Cena manages to counter the move, shoves Cody away, and inadvertently knocks out the referee. And then the chaos begins. The Rock's henchmen come out to interfere. They want to make sure Cena wins so one of them can get a shot at the title. Rollins, Breakker, McIntyre, and Owens beat up Cody, but Cena shoves Rollins away and orders them to leave the ring. But just as Cena turns back, he is leveled by a spear from Braun Breakker. And then out comes the cavalry. Punk, Orton, Gable, and others are out to even the odds and make sure the contest remains fair. All hell breaks loose with the fight spilling to the outside. In the ring, Randy Orton clotheslines Kevin Owens and sends him out of the ring. But unbeknownst to Orton, Braun Breakker is eyeing him. Breakker goes for the spear, but is intercepted by Cena, who nails Braun with the AA while looking at Orton. Owens gets back in the ring and tries to ambush Cena, but Cena dodges as Owens eats an RKO from Orton. Orton and Cena share a brief moment of mutual respect, but then The Rock's music hits and the final boss has decided to take things into his own hands. Rock enters the ring and stands face-to-face with Cena. Orton tries to attack The Rock, but instead eats a rock bottom as Cena stands conflicted. The Rock sees this hesitation from Cena, so he removes his weight belt and hands it over to Cena and orders him to use it on Orton. Cena now has to make a choice. He can either attack Cody and retain his title, or he can attack Orton and prove his loyalty to the final boss. But instead, Cena attacks The Rock as the crowd erupts. Cena nails The Rock with an AA and declares that he does things his way as the crowd goes wild. Meanwhile, Cody gets back to his feet and comes face-to-face with Cena. Now it's truly one-on-one, And in the end, after minutes of finisher spams, Cody manages to counter an AA and hit 3 consecutive crossroads to reclaim the WWE title and end Cena's historic 17th title reign. In the aftermath, we see The Rock and his henchmen beat up Cena, solidifying his face turn while setting up The Rock vs. Cena for Saturday Night Main Event in Cena's final match in Boston. During the build-up to this match, we see Cena regaining respect from the entire locker room and making amends with his old rivals like Orton and Punk. He also gets the support from the WWE Universe, and one last time we see the beloved leader of the C Nation go one-on-one with The Rock in his final match. Cena's 17th title reign allows him to revisit feuds with his legendary rivals like Punk, Orton, and Styles, while also elevating fresh talent, all leading to a satisfying climax where he passes the torch to Cody Rhodes. But let me know what you think. Who and when should dethrone John Cena? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.